Hi y'all, it's Wendy Jo, and I am in the kitchen today talking to you about my favorite tools to cook with. Hands down, I would probably say, if you were to ask anybody who really knows me, what tool do I use most often in the kitchen besides my knife and my zester, they would definitely say my great-grandma's cast iron skillet. I'm a huge fan of cooking with cast iron. It is extremely heavy, so you're not going to be just tossing this back and forth. That's why there's an advantage of using lighter pans. However, the pans cook a lot more even across the bottom. So when I'm cooking something, I know that it's going to cook evenly. It's just going to transfer heat better. The problem is most people treat their cast iron poorly. And so they immerse it in soapy water, they let it soak, it starts to form rust. So I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to clean this. But first I want to share with you why this is so precious to me. My great-grandmother used to own a bar. I know, how risque. Might explain a couple things about me. But, so my great-grandma, which is my mammy, she lived into her hundreds, quite healthy. She was actually paid a bar tab by a patron with this cast iron skillet. This is actually one of the stories that she told me. And that her sisters refused to walk home with her because they were just appalled that she would be walking down the street with a cast iron skillet. I have to say that's pretty hefty weightlifting as she was walking down. That's probably why she lived so long. She was constantly doing weight-bearing exercise. So there is a definite advantage to using it. But getting back to the cleaning, two things you need: oil and salt. No, you do not need to have soapy water, and please don't immerse this in soapy water. I just use my cast iron skillet. You're going to see two recipes that I shared in my blog post as to which ones, but it's dirty today. Cast iron should be so cleaned and sealed and treated well that I should be able to cook eggs right in this and they should not stick that onto the bottom of this. That's your dream cast iron. If you haven't gotten your seasoned well, this pan is probably over 100 years old or close to it. It's probably why I love it so much. But if you don't have it that seasoned, then what you want to do is put oil in it, cook it at about 1 inch of oil on the surface of your stove for about, maybe 5 to 15 minutes at a low simmer to heat the oil and really let it kind of soak in. Turn off yours, drain the oil someplace safe where it's not going to scorch your sink or a garbage bag, etc. Drain it off maybe in a coffee cup. Then put this upside down to drain completely, and then put it into an oven at about 180 degrees and let it bake at 180 degrees for about 2 to 3 hours. And what that's doing is sealing up, baking in that oil that was just cooked on it. So it's helping it to stay into the pan. That's a great way if you have basically far gone your pan. But mine's not far gone, and I'm just gonna use coarse sea salt. Maybe like a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. You don't need that much. And then I'm gonna use just a little bit of oil, maybe another tablespoon to 2 tablespoons. Yeah, about 2 tablespoons. And then you let your hands do the work. Now, people are like, oh, that's so abrasive. Come on, there's salt scrubs. This is what we want to do with our hands. See, they were doing these things way back in the day before we even knew that they were beneficial for us. So scrub, scrub, scrub your pan. Really let this clean up all the debris that's on it, because remember, salt's so coarse, it's gonna pick up any of the leftover debris. So I cooked a chicken in this the other night on top of, I did the French toast, which I'm going to share with you guys the recipe for. But since I did that right in this, it's 2 different times that I used it, so I really need to give it a good cleaning. I'll be honest, I use my cast iron probably every single day in the kitchen, if not more than once a day, because it's my go-to pan. All right, so not sure how well you guys can see this, But I'll show you the cleaned out. I'll take pictures of the cleaned out version so you can see what it looks like. So from here, I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit just to make sure that I got everything up. Then I'm gonna towel dry it out, and from there I'll use it. I mean, I don't need to wash it. There's no need to apply water on it. It's just oil and salt. And the salt's not really getting absorbed, so don't worry about that. Another thing everybody has to worry about, but it's just helping that abrasion to get the oil, to use that to help clean this. So my hands feel wonderful. So I'm gonna go wash my hands, and I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you do choose to take cast iron seriously and start using it more in your kitchen. There's a lot of healthy attributes of using cast iron, but for me, it's a cheap, inexpensive means of cooking, but there's a lot of reminiscing and going back to some of the old ways of cooking. And if you want to do breads, scones, anything like that, these are fantastic. Frying, add some oil to this pan, and this baby will get evenly hot. So yeah, I would say hands down that the cast iron skillet is my favorite. So I hope you guys pick up one, and when you struggle, touch back base with me and I will help you to clean and take care of it. Have a great day, y'all.